Hi, so today we're talking about how you can take back the control in your love life, especially if you're dating in your 30s. And this is something that comes up a lot with the women I work with, and I can so relate to it. When I was 28 years old, a guy friend had told me that it was okay that I was still single, but that I really needed to sort my shit out, or else, when I get to 30, I would be screwed. That there would be no guys left and that I would be a spinster. So at the time I was single, I didn't really care that he was telling me this, but then I found myself single at 31 and all those fears came kind of rushing in. And it's so easy to say, I will just see what happens, or maybe it's not meant for me, and you make up all these excuses for not meeting anyone. But today I'm talking about how you can take the control back, because it's not always just about you waiting for a guy to come around. It's not dependent on luck. There are very few things that you can do, specific things that you can do to control who comes into your life and who stays. So I'm going to talk about the 5 things you can do to take the control back in your love life and not feel like you're leaving it up to chance. So number 1, I've got my notes with me. I've gotten this all down. Number 1 is set the intention. So this is really important. I think one of the big things about meeting somebody is deciding that you're ready. Because when you decide that you're ready and you're committed, you're 100% in, your actions will follow. Versus, so for example, somebody who's all in will make an effort to try dating apps, try different dating apps. They're not too proud to admit that they may need a little help, so they'll read books or they'll journal. Basically, they'll try everything because they're committed to the cause. They're not desperate. They're just setting the intention that they're ready to meet someone, and therefore their actions will show that. Versus somebody who, is quite the opposite, will have the attitude of, well, I don't really need a man, so I'll just see what happens, and I'll just date whoever comes along and see how it goes and go with the flow. This go with the flow idea sounds really great and easygoing, and you want to come off relaxed, but the downside of that is if you don't set the intention to meet anyone, you attract you attract all kinds of men, and as a result of just seeing where things go, you could potentially be dating all the wrong people 3-6 months at a time. And it's great if you've got time to spare, but if you don't, and you want to meet someone within the next year or two because you want to have babies, then those chunks of 3-6 months can take up a lot of your time. And you don't have to be in a rush to find someone. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but a lot of women come to me and ask me how they can meet someone as soon as possible. And you can meet someone as soon as possible as long as you decide that you are committed to the cause. So number 1 is setting the intention. Number 2 is you don't always decide who comes into your life, but you decide who stays. So another common story that I hear from singles is, oh, I always attract the wrong kind of guys. They're really they're really not committed, and they're just shit. It was pretty much the words that these women used to describe. But we in life in general, colleagues, friends, partners, lovers, you won't always attract the best people into your life, but you have a chance to decide who stays. So for example, you meet a guy and he might seem really nice and charming and sweet in the beginning, but then 3 weeks into it or 3 dates into it, you find out, oh, maybe he's not that great. He's your values don't align. And that's the point where you decide whether you let them stay or not. And I have a lot of female clients who let these men stay in their lives, hoping that things will change, hoping that maybe they can inspire these guys to change. But, obviously a lot of them don't, and they get disappointed. So you have the power to decide who comes and goes into your life. Use it. The third thing to keep in mind is your mindset. So a poor dating mindset is something I talk about all the time, and it's the biggest hindrance to you finding a healthy relationship. So your mindset is has everything to do with how you feel about relationships. So how do you feel about men right now? Do you feel that no good ones exist? Do you feel like they're not for you? Do you feel like you always attract the wrong guys? Listen to the stories you're telling yourself. And also, like, how are you feeling towards relationships? Do you think they're difficult? Do you think they're frustrating? Do you think they're not meant for you? Have a look, because all the things that you're telling about yourself is manifesting. It's showing up in how you relate to people in, you know, your real life. So mindset, creating a healthy mindset can help you ease the anxiety of, you know, wanting to meet someone and not being in such a rush, and, you know, coping with the setbacks, so that if you have a bad day, it's not that you're not destined to find someone, it's just you've had a bad date. And a lot of the students that have taken Mindset Makeover have seen tremendous changes in how they react to, you know, when dates don't go so well. They no longer see it as a failure. Number 4, stop telling the same old stories. So if you're not finding what you want in love and life, look at the stories you're telling yourself. So very similar to mindset and unblocking these roadblocks. Maybe you feel like you're not ready to meet someone because you still need to lose 5 kilos, or, you know, maybe you're feeling like that there are no good men in their 30s. That's so not true. That is just a narrative that you're telling yourself, and it's blocking you from finding someone. In this 30-day Lucky in Love boot camp I've got, we actually debunk and identify what those stories are and what those roadblocks are, because if you don't know what the problem is, you can't solve it. So I've got exercises which help you get rid of these stories really quickly, so you can just move on and create a really new and healthy and fresh narrative, the one that kind helps you attract the relationship you want. Number 5, they're very similar. You have to understand your roadblocks. You have to understand what's in the way, why you're not getting the relationship you want. There are many things that you can do to understand your roadblocks. You know, some people attract the same partner because it's what they think they want, and some people attract the same partner because it's what they're familiar with. So if they see their parents relate in a certain way when they were younger, that's how maybe they associate with love. So, you know, you can't move forward unless you understand how the past has influenced your present. So if you're interested in learning more and basically uncovering how you can just transform your love life in 30 days, you can check out my Lucky in Love program. I'll leave a link below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, or subscribe to my channel for more like this. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye!